Welcome to Car and Driver. I'm Caleb Miller, and this is the 2026 Nissan Leaf. It looks a bit different than you remembered it, right? The Nissan Leaf arrived in 2011 as a dowdy hatchback with a paltry range, but it was one of the first mainstream EVs and it saw some success. The second generation sharpened the styling, but the range never really became competitive and it was quickly surpassed by newer EVs. The 2026 model, however, is a complete departure. The Leaf has now morphed into a subcompact SUV. Nissan says it's about 3 inches shorter than the outgoing model. The 2026 Leaf sports smooth styling with rounded edges and a trendy sloping roofline, which helps aerodynamics but eats into cargo space. In fact, Nissan claims that the Leaf has a drag coefficient of just 0.26, helped by the flush door handles and a flat underbody. At the rear, there's a large gloss black panel which houses the taillights. These have a cool 3D hologram effect, although that's only available on the Platinum Plus model. Like I said earlier, that fastback profile eats into cargo space. With the rear seats up, Nissan says you have about 20 cubic feet of space here, and with the seats flat, you have 55.5 cubic feet. That's a bit less than the Hyundai Kona Electric and Kia Niro EV. But there's far more to the 2026 Nissan Leaf than a fresh look. It actually has competitive range. Nissan says that a 75 kilowatt-hour battery pack will provide roughly 303 miles of range in the S Plus trim. Opting for the fancier trims will drop that range slightly. The SV Plus will drop to 288 miles, while the Platinum Plus will drop to 256 miles. Nissan will also later offer a 52 kilowatt-hour battery pack in the base S trim, but hasn't provided a range figure for that model yet. The Leaf will also be able to charge much faster than before. While the outgoing model maxed out at 50 kilowatts, this new one will max out at 150 kilowatts on a DC fast charger. Nissan says going from 10 to 80% will take about 35 minutes. Nissan also implemented advanced battery thermal management, allowing for consistent charging regardless of weather conditions. On the passenger side, there's a NACS port. Nissan has an intriguing solution to the current charging landscape, where many automakers have begun to switch to the NACS port, while many non-Tesla public charging stations still use CCS-style plugs. Nissan will also offer an adapter, allowing you to use public CCS-style chargers. Another cool feature is that the Leaf will offer vehicle-to-load capability, allowing you to power external devices using the car's battery. On the driver's side, there's a J1772 port, allowing for at-home charging and public Level 2 AC charging. All Nissan Leafs will be powered by a front-mounted electric motor, delivering 214 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque in most trims. The base S model will be limited to 174 horsepower, which is a big improvement over the last generation's 147 horsepower base model. Moving inside, the Leaf sports a modern design that fits in with Nissan's current design language. This flat section here sports a pair of screens. On the top SV Plus and Platinum Plus models, they measure 14.3 inches, while on the S and S Plus models, they will measure 12.3 inches. Below the screens, there's a line of haptic touch controls for climate systems, like heated seats and the temperature. And there's a few other physical controls in here, like a knob here for the volume, and a toggle here for the drive mode, and a button over here for the maximum level of regeneration. But most of the other functions are controlled through the touchscreen, which run a Google built-in infotainment system. All Leafs will feature a 360-degree camera system. This will be a boon for parking in tight spaces in cities like New York and Los Angeles. On the top Platinum Plus model, there's also an electronically dimming moonroof, adjusted with this toggle right here, which displays the Leaf badge up here. Platinum Plus trim will also feature a 10-speaker Bose premium sound system with speakers in the headrest so you can take a phone call without disturbing your other passengers. The Nissan Leaf is a subcompact SUV now in 2026, and Nissan says it's about 3 inches shorter than the outgoing model. That means it's a little bit tight back here for someone like me, who's about 5'11". The rear seats also feature a pair of USB-C ports, and on this model, heated seats on the outboard seats. There's also a 120-volt plug below. The trim is this nice cloth material here, as well as this blue and white leather on the seats and armrests. The 2026 Nissan Leaf is a big improvement over the outgoing model, offering improved range, a well-appointed cabin, handsome styling, and charging flexibility. But will that be enough to compete in an increasingly crowded EV landscape? We'll have to see when the Leaf arrives at dealerships this fall. Nissan doesn't have full pricing information yet, but says it wants to keep the Leaf affordable, so we expect it to start around $30,000, maybe even below that. We'll have to wait and see.